What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pod Scum. I am, of course, your host, Reckless Rexx Ruger. Watching my back, as always. You know him, you love him. If he says one word, I am getting up and getting the hell out of here. That's a fact. That's the Freddie Mercury puppet. That's also a fact. We, of course, have another incredible episode. It's what we do, kids, and we ain't about to change it now. The old saying pertains here. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and we ain't gonna. Before my guest gets in here, as I do every time we get together, I'm going to address the proverbial elephant in the room. Pull your ear in close. I'm going to hip you to something here. You're looking at the smoldering good looks, the luscious blonde rock star locks. I'm going to confirm it for you. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. You are looking at the one and only loved child of one, Diamond David Lee Roth. There's Pops right up there. I don't know if that's anything worth bragging about these days, the way Dave is out repping himself. Opinions vary, but now it's on the table. I've divulged it, and we can get down to brass tacks, which, as I said, another incredible episode. You know, you've come to expect it. You know the brand. You know that we always deliver, and we got another great guest today. Let me give you my obligatory promotional spiel first, because as you know, I live by the credo. If you have a podcast, you have to pimp it. The pimp hand is feeling strong, so here we go. Make sure to tap into Pod Scum on Facebook. Our handle is Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum. Don't be confused. I got two shows. For you pugilism fans, we got you covered with Off the Couch Boxing on the channel. And for you rock and metal and music maniacs, we got you covered here on Pod Scum. You can check out information on both shows on that Facebook page. Again, the handle Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum. Same handle over on our Instagram, Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum. Both of those platforms are incredible, and we are very active on there, giving you updates on when shows are dropping and who's going to be on the shows, and lots of other cool little tidbits and newsworthy and noteworthy things on our Facebook page and on our Instagram page. Lots of cool reels, snippets of these conversations, etc., etc. But if you want to watch and listen to the entire episodes, this is where you need to be, our YouTube channel. So if you're here, I would invite you, please, to like, subscribe, and most importantly, and this is a critical step right here, I believe the most important of the steps, make sure to find that notification bell and smash it. At least that's what the kids say nowadays. Short of destroying your technical device. I don't want you to do that, because then you got nothing to watch me on. So don't do any, debilitating harm to your device. But definitely engage that notification button, because it's a essential step in this whole process right here of staying tapped in with Pod Scum. So do that. And while we're waiting, I also want to express my gratitude to the viewers, the subscribers. You guys have really, really propelled the channel forward. As an independent podcaster, it is just so inspiring and uplifting when I go in and check the analytics and that's the stats on how the show is doing. We are constantly seeing growth. We're always trending upwards, more viewers, more subscribers. And now by no means is it leaps and bounds. Sometimes it's a steady trickle is how I would describe it. But there's always new growth every single time I look into the analytics. So that's just so encouraging. And just I owe it to you guys for really helping propel the channel towards the success that it's and it might be a modicum of success, but it's success in the eyes of someone like me who does this as a side hustle for the enjoyment and for the passion, not necessarily for any kind of profit. But it is still great. Anything that you do, any undertaking, you want to see it succeed and do well. And I owe that to you guys. And of course, at the end of the day, it goes without saying, the guests, as great as it is to feast your eyes on me, and I know that's a treat, you tune in for these incredible conversations with the folks that I have on here that are just insanely talented. So I know where my bread's buttered, and that's where it is. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the continued support. It really means the world to me. And 2026, we're already off to a great start, and got a lot of tricks up my sleeve if I had sleeves on today, and I don't, but there are tricks. And by that, I mean trying to run down some incredible guests for you guys. And I'll yammer on about that later. My guest is here right now, and we're going to get into it. Here we go with another great episode. Let's do it. Hello there, Adam.
Boom.
What's going on? Boom. Boom is right, man. How's it going, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. I appreciate you doing this, man. Really good to meet you, man. A big fan.
Hell yeah.
I've actually had Mark on a couple times, also from your band, Misery Index.
Yeah, I saw his actually.
Yeah, he's a great
clips
guy.
From it.
Yeah, he's a great dude. And so usually, Adam, where I start these things, I kind of like to go back to the beginning because I find a lot of musical artists or people that get into anything that's any kind of creative endeavor. They seem to it seems to be fostered early on. They grow up in households where a lot of records are being played. Parents are into music. Maybe the parents are musicians themselves. Was any of this the case for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess we're starting. We're just off the races.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're always off and running. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely grew up in a very musical family. My father's a musician, still plays to this day. He's like, he's one of those self-taught. If he wants to learn it, he'll make it happen. Like he can play everything from drums to the accordion. Like he actually has a Zydeco band, so they were just playing gigs for Mardi Gras in St. Louis, which is where I grew up, or close to St. Louis, and that's the second most celebrated Mardi Gras city in the nation, next to New Orleans, of course. Right. So yeah, just grew up around drums, musicians, and I always say that, like, I guess like, you start hanging out with friends, and like you meet other people, like, and I always thought it was weird when like they either weren't into music or they didn't play an instrument.
Right.
I was like, what do you mean you don't jam? Like, what's wrong with you? Like something wrong with you? Or oh no, I don't even really listen to music. I'd think that they were like an alien. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. I myself am not proficient in an instrument, but I couldn't think of going a day without actually submersing myself in music at some point in the day.
Yeah, for real, man. So yeah, it all was like a natural progression for me because just having access to drums and all these different instruments, I just gravitated towards the drums. I guess more so than anything else. Like I tried to play bass and guitar and stuff like that and learned a few things here and there, but something about drums always, that was like, I knew it early on that was like what I wanted to do. And so started out with like playing, Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix was some of my first. I really loved jamming to Jimi Hendrix. And then it was just a natural progression because my cousin John, who's in SCOUR as well. I've had him
on.
Yeah. So we used to jam. Like we've been in bands since we were literally like, since I was like 10 or something like that, maybe even younger. And so we started jamming, and then it was, he was showing me, Metallica, and then eventually heard Slayer, and then it just like it was game on from there. I have my older sister Amanda. She turned me on to a lot of stuff too, because she was always into metal, and her boyfriends from high school, going through high school, like they would show me like say like Sepultura or Morbid Angel or shit like that, and I was just always like, what is this? Like, holy shit.
There's always somebody older around to do the corrupting. I just had this conversation with somebody else, and the last couple of interviews I've done, it was always an older uncle. It's always an older uncle or a sibling that always seems to do the corrupting.
Yeah, there you go. That's how I am with my nephew, Caden. He's a musician as well. He's been playing since he was really young, man. And I've turned him on to like all kinds of just nonsense that, it's like he just turned 21, which is crazy. So he was born the year that I joined Misery Index. So I always think back to that, like, that's how I know how long I've been in Misery Index, is how old my nephew is. But yeah, so I've turned him on to like For instance, recently one that he like it literally blew his mind was the Nun EP from Meshuggah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard that or not, but it's like
Incredible. Yeah,
it's one of the
yeah,
heaviest goddamn things ever. And
yeah, yeah.
man, back then Meshuggah was a whole other fucking animal, you know.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But yeah, that's always the thing. Like you said, you always have somebody older and just like, you know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that shit, man. And even like, you know, friends of mine that, you know, say maybe never really got into like, you know, like the really heavy, like maybe underground death metal or something. I'm like, yo, you need to check this out. Like, you
Yeah.
know, listen to fucking Monstrosity, you know, check out,
Yeah.
you know, check out
Yeah.
this Suffocation, Despise the Sun. And they never heard Despise the Sun. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna if
Yeah.
your head doesn't explode when you hear that, then we're not friends anymore. You know?
Yeah. and so for you right out of the gate, it was the drums, huh? Because a lot of times, man, when you're young, it seems like either people want to be out in the front, be the front man, or they want to be the shredder. So for you, the drums was kind of right out of the gate.
Yeah, it's one of those like I don't you can't really even explain it. I was so young when it happened, but I think it was just like always watching my dad play probably had something to do with it. And I would sit there and like they used to jam at our house. His old band was called Boulder Dash, and they're a country rock and roll band. So
that's cool.
That's another thing that's just like in my DNA. Like I love, you know, old country outlaw shit, you know. You know, Charlie Daniels, Marshall Tucker, David Allan Coe, all that crazy shit. Me and Jimmy Bauer are always like, you know, sending each other videos like, check this out, son, holy shit. You know, Jerry Reed, listening to Jerry Reed. But yeah, man, that was the path I chose, and wanted to just it was like learning Slayer. Well, starting off with like the heavier stuff, learning Metallica, of course, and then like, you know, learning like, you know, Dave Lombardo's drum parts and Slayer. That was just like I couldn't wait to like have the opportunity to like just play drums, wait for my parents to wake up, and they'd wake up, and the first thing I'd do is just run in there and start playing drums. And you know, luckily they were cool with that, because not all, you know, especially when you're learning, like,
I don't think most parents are stoked about the drums. Yeah, I mean, like when they're kids, they're gonna play the drums.
And especially when you're like just learning stuff, and you know, it's like just sounds like a bunch of racket. You know, it's like so loud and obnoxious, and if you don't know what you're doing, you know, so I'm glad they had those patience, you know, to let me
foster that. Yeah,
exactly.
And so what was your inception like when, as you mentioned earlier, in 2004, when you joined Misery Index, you know, how do you show up on their radar? You know, for people that might not know, man, like what's your story about how you entered that band?
It's kind of a crazy one. I found out about Misery Index from just randomly going to this show at a old club called the Creepy Crawl in St. Louis. And couldn't find anybody to go to this show with me. I was going to see this band called Divine Empire, which was dudes that were in Malevolent Creation. And I was still in high school, you know, just like found out about this show last minute. Couldn't find anybody to go. End up going with my ex-girlfriend, high school girlfriend at the time, and we rolled out, and it was I think right when we got there, one band finished, and then this other band started setting up, and we were actually going to go get some food or something, because I was like, oh yeah, the band I wanted to see wasn't playing until later. And then all of a sudden the drummer started like, they were like, hit your kick drum, and then like play the whole kit, and the drummer was just like,
yeah.
I was like, hold on now. I guess we're gonna have to stay and watch this band. And it was Misery Index, and the drummer at the time was Matt Byers, the dude that played on the album Retaliate. And they just blew my mind, dude. I was like, holy fucking shit. Like this is, you know, where did these guys come from, kind of thing. And then I found out that they were, you know, members of Dying Fetus. And it's funny because I always like, I didn't really take Dying Fetus seriously because of the band name. I was like,
right.
It's like, I'll check it out maybe, but never really did at the time. Like I said, I was still in high school, so I get a pass on that, I guess.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
So then I, you know, got Destroy the Opposition, and I was like, holy shit. And, you know, found out about Kevin Talley, and, you know, so fast forward, my band at the time, All Will Fall. That was like my high school band, and we played out quite a bit. Didn't really like tour too much, but kind of started to, and I could go on. That's a whole other side story there, but basically we got an offer to open up it was Fetus, Skinless, Misery Index, and Divine Empire tour, and we got an offer to like open up that show, and that was a groundbreaking kind of gig for us, because just the exposure alone, and but yeah, we were playing, and literally like dudes from Fetus and like a bunch of people were, because the way the club was laid out, like you had like walked along the side of the stage to go to the bathrooms. It was only like not even a 200 cap room, so it was kind of tiny. So I saw so many killer bands there where you could just like right on the side where the drummer's playing. Like, right to them, literally like a foot away. It's like stage, monitor, drummer. Boom.
Yeah. Find your local dive bar, folks. Find your local dive bar.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Yeah, and that
happens.
That was a game-changing venue. Like I saw my first hardcore show there, Vision of Despair, fucking Candiria. I watched Ken Shock when I was still in high school, just like But anyway, so we played, and afterwards, talked to the Misery Index guys, and was like just hanging out, shooting the shit, and gave them a copy of the demo that we had at the time, All Will Fall's first demo. And then I guess fast forward maybe like 6 months, something like that. They put out feelers for a new drummer, and I was a part of this like email list or whatever, and got it like super late. Didn't find out until like they were like asking, like deadline was in like 3 days. So I was like, holy shit. And I already was familiar with the material, so I literally just like immediately started practicing the stuff and sending a VHS tape. I had to do the overnight shipment directly to Kevin Talley. He was the one reviewing the submissions, because it was weird. Like, Talley was the first drummer from Misery Index. He left. They got this dude, Matt Byers, that played with them for a few years, recorded that album, Retaliate. He left. Kevin Talley came back.
Yeah.
So, he was just, I guess, going to move on to another band or something. So I overnight this VHS, literally got a phone call at like 9:30 in the morning from Kevin Talley. And I like, just woke up, and, it's like one of those things where, I think it might have been my first cell phone kind of thing. I'm trying to jog that memory. But anyways, got a missed call and checking this voicemail, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, what's up, dude? This is Kevin Talley. I just watched your drum video, and you're the dude. And I'm like, wow. It's like dreaming, so called him back, and he was just like, yeah, I'm going to be leaving the band, and blah, 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 blah. Like, do you have a passport? And, are you willing to like move, relocate to be in the band, and all this, like these serious questions. And, I was 19, 20 years old at the time. So it was just like, it all happened so fast. And I was just like, all right, I guess I'm doing this thing, but then maybe like a month went by. I made another video, because they just asked you to play like 3 songs. It was like, play these 3 songs, and we'll be able to narrow down like who could do this or not. And one of them was like a really just like unrelenting song with like crazy amount of blast beats. And
right.
So it's like, if you could play that, you could probably play just about anything in the catalog.
Yeah. So, go ahead and separate the men from the boys here.
There you go. Yeah. So I recorded another video of me playing like 8 more songs or something like that, and me and my buddy Scuba Steve, everybody's got their buddy Scuba Steve, right? Sure. But yeah, we're still friends to this day. We drove up to Chicago. They were on tour. Misery Index was on tour with I think it was Cataclysm again. But yeah, we rolled up, and I hand delivered another tape just to be like, yo, I'm serious. Like I can play, I know enough songs to play an entire show right at this point, and then Kevin was like, oh man, I'm really sorry, but I think I'm actually going to stay with the band. And I was like, well, that sucks, but also like you're the drummer for the band. So like,
right.
At least they didn't like pick somebody else, or like he was like, oh, sorry, we're going to go with this other dude or something.
Right.
So then fast forward, like probably not even 4 months later, I get a phone call from Kevin Talley out of nowhere, and he was just like, hey, something's come up, and I'm not able to do this European tour with Misery Index. You think you could step in and help out? And like I was working as a apprentice for to be a bricklayer at the time.
Yeah.
Just out of high school, was like, it was actually killer money for just being out of high school. And I was on a job site when I got this phone call, and I just like straight up went up to my boss and I was like, yo, dude, I'm going home.
Yeah.
What's going on? I was like, I'll tell you about it later. And I just like literally left, like, and started practicing the shit again. And yeah, a few weeks later, flew to Maryland. Never even been on an airplane at that point. Flew to Maryland, and then flew to Germany and played Wacken. Wacken open air was my first.
Wow.
So
talk about baptism by fire.
I was just gonna say baptism by fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played like Partisan and Brutal Assault, and that was back in 2004. So been with the band ever since.
And so when does Kevin actually relinquish his duties, though? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you were actually starting in 2004, but it sounds like you stepped into this tour, but Kevin really he didn't say in that phone call that he was done. He just said he couldn't do that tour, right?
Well, I found out later on, that was the initial phone call, and then we talked again, and he was just like, so here's what's happening. So Kevin tried out for Slayer.
Oh, okay.
And there's footage on YouTube that you can watch of Kevin playing with Slayer.
Okay.
And that was back when it was like Boss Staff was leaving the band, and before Lombardo came back.
Right.
They had that John Detty dude as well. That was kind of in there.
Yep.
But yeah, Kevin tried out for him and basically like almost got the gig, but Lombardo decided he was going to come back. So it's kind of the same thing that happened with me, where it was just like, I mean, you're Dave Lombardo, like you are the drummer of Slayer kind of thing. And so he got a call from Kerry King about the Chimera gig is what happened. So he wanted to like go audition and do this thing for Chimera, and he didn't like technically like really have the gig yet. And then when he got it, he like told me, he's like, yeah, I haven't really even told the Misery Index dude yet. And I remember when I joined the band that they were like pretty pissed off at him because like plane tickets were already bought for that European tour. And shit. Like I had no clue that any of that was even going on. And I just joined the band, 20 years old, just like, hell yeah, going to Europe. Like, in these crazy festivals. And
well, I mean, if they had those tickets paid for and everything, man, you really did in every sense of the word, man. You saved the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
for real.
I mean, as Metallica said, you're the hero of the day. I mean, yeah. And so
that was a lot of trust that they put in me, and I still to this day I'm like thankful that they gave me the shot, because they didn't know. I mean, we had talked, and I had met all of them before, and like whenever they found out that Kevin basically set them up with me, they were like, oh yeah, that dude, like of course that dude's sick,
Yeah.
So, but still, I wasn't like on a level of anywhere where I am now, of course, but or even like 5 years after that, it took me a while to like really get in and get comfortable, like, playing live and playing shows of that. At that point, I just playing like local gigs and stuff like that. So like actual like touring and like being like a professional drummer kind of thing. Like it took some time, and it, like, as we said, it was like baptism by fire. So I kind of had to just like adapt quickly.
Yeah.
And execute.
It's interesting that you're saying that, because is there one, you guys have an amazing discography, but in your tenure with the band, is there a project where you would point to? And I mean, obviously I love everything you guys have done, but is there one that you would point at if someone came to you and said, hey, tell us your best representation of your creative high point where you felt like you were really firing on all cylinders? Is there a Misery Index album that you would point at and say, you know, if someone wanted to say, hey, where's your playing? Where's an example of you playing at your best?
I would go back to either Traders or Heirs to Thievery, probably.
Okay.
Traders was when really came into, like, I guess we were touring nonstop back then.
Yeah.
And because of that, just became a tighter and like more, I guess, aggressive. And we started to actually like develop a chemistry as a band as well for jamming so much. And just, we used to do like 200 shows a year. It was insane. So I would say definitely those two records, Traders and Heirs to Thievery, for sure.
Okay.
Which are probably up on that. Yeah.
Yep. Now you were one of those guys, man, and I've had a few of them on this show. You know, you got your guys that put all their eggs in one basket and their focus is their band. They're one band. You're one of those guys who likes to be in multiple projects and stay very busy. I have a list of some of the projects, man, but can you just update people on, like, you know, sometimes you get misinformation on the internet. What bands are your priority, man, and what are you really focused on right now other than Misery Index? Obviously, SCOUR, you just dropped a gold, the first full length that the band has done.
Yeah, which is about a year. Actually, I think we released it last February, so it's over a year now.
Yeah, I've got down a bunch here, though. I mean, you know, Pig Destroyer, End Rain,
Blood on the Wall.
Deformity. Yep, yeah, an amazing album,
Yeah, man, really proud of that one. Like, so how it turned out, and it's. I hadn't listened to it in a while, and one of my buddies reached out, and he was just talking about a certain track on there. I think it was Hell.
Yeah.
So I went back and I was listening to it, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, man. I love that record, and I wish more people would listen to it. Damn it!
I know. Come on, people, pull your heads out of your asses. And for God's sakes, let's not forget, man, that it also, aside from the great musicians that are on it, man. I mean, come on, man. You're playing alongside one of the greatest frontmen ever in metal, man. I mean, the great Phil Anselmo.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and he killed it on that record. It's like,
I like him doing it. Yeah, I kind of like him doing like that whole like black metal thing, man. That he has that whole, like, you know what I mean? Like it's like where his voice is kind of like evolved to.
Yeah, and he's always been a fan of black metal, and you know, it's as most people know, he's got a Dark Throne tattoo on his leg, and loves Immortal, and you know, all that shit. And it's funny how SCOUR started. We'll have to get back to the other side project thing, but our other bands and all that stuff. But the way it started was basically my cousin John and Derek. You know, they wanted to start this project, and they were touring together a lot back then. And I think it was just one of those things where, well, it's funny because it all goes back to this other band, which is up on the wall back here, FULGORA. It was on Housecore, and that was kind of like a gateway into like us meeting Phil, because he found out about FULGORA. I don't know if it was, I think it was one of the dudes in another Housecore band called Grisnam at the time, I think, showed him like, yo, check these guys out, and played a song for him. And Phil actually personally reached out to us, and when Pig Destroyer played down in New Orleans with I Hate God, which, I mean, who else would you want to play with in New Orleans?
The best.
Love those dudes. After that show, my cousin and I, we went down to Phil's to track a FULGORA song. And that was the first time, I don't think it was the first time meeting Phil, but it was the first time like going down to his house, and like that holy shit experience of just we're going to Phil's house. Like, this is fucking insane. And,
for real.
You know, he's got the studio there, and we, you know, just being in that studio, you see pictures of it online and whatever. And then like, now you're there. It's like, holy shit, you're at the lair kind of thing. So that was kind of us meeting Phil. And then I guess maybe it was a year or so later was when my cousin just reached out, and it was like, because they were wanting to start you know, black metal project of sorts, and didn't even really have a name for it yet. And then they came up with the name, and then like, who could we get to sing? And I think it was almost like a joke where my cousin was like, "Oh, well, I'll just reach out to Phil and see if Phil will want to do it." And they were both kind of thinking like, "Yeah, right." And they like he hit him up, and like Phil wrote back, and I think he sent him a song that they were already working on, and he was like, "Dude, I'd crush this shit," or something like that, and was like, "Game on."
Yeah.
And they got it was this dude Jesse, who was in one of Derek and Mark, actually, from Misery Index, and Derek were this band called Cast a Stone with the drummer Jesse from the first SCOUR EP. So the way I got into it basically was like Jesse had, I think he somehow injured his ankle. He fell, like they were getting ready to play their first show, or there was like leading up to the first show. Then there was a festival in Norway that ended up getting canceled. But anyways, that's the whole other story. But yeah, so basically, it's the same thing. I got a call from Derek one day, and he's like, "Yo, I was just talking, your cousin, and just found out that Jesse, he broke his ankle, and we're not sure if he's going to be able to play, or he's going to be healed up in time to be able to play this first SCOUR gig, and want to see if you want to step in and help out." And I was like, "Well, fuck yeah, let's do it, And then it just turned into, they already had the Red EP written and ready to go, and we went down to Phil's to jam, and they were just like, "I think we want you in the band," and I don't know what all happened before that with Jesse, and it just kind of like fizzled out, and whatever. So I recorded the drums for the Red EP before the first SCOUR show at One Eye Jack's. Like I recorded like 3 songs, and then we went and played the show at One Eye Jack's, and then came back, set up the kit again, and then like ripped the last 2 songs, and then just flew home. It was like, it was like rapid fire.
Right.
And so some of those songs at that first show, which I think the whole show's online somewhere, it was like a work in progress of the album, or what the songs that were to become the Red EP, the 5 tracks that are on the Red EP, or 6 tracks. There's 6 tracks, whatever.
Yeah.
Because they all have 6. That was the whole 6.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, that's SCOUR is a whole other topic that we could probably talk about for an hour. But yeah, we got some shows coming up this year, which is killer. We only played 1 or 2 shows last year, so pretty stoked to be playing. We're playing Hellfest, and then we're doing Mystic Fest in Poland.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to see the resurgence of Pantera, which is obviously keeping Phil somewhat busy too, man. But it's so great to see their music. Yeah, I got to see them open for Metallica here in upstate New York, man, in a huge football stadium. It was just great to see, like, people my age bringing their kids and their grandkids, and even though it isn't the original lineup, it's still Phil, it's still Rexx, and I think having Charlie and Zach in there, man, those guys are more. I've said it before. Those guys are more than just hired guns, though, man. Like, they were always part of the inner family of Pantera. So they're the right guys, and they're representing the songs nice. It's just nice to see those songs get passed on and exposed to new generations exposed to them.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're killing, man. And there's so many people didn't get a chance to see Pantera, and obviously, like, even for a band that hadn't played a show, all the series of unfortunate events that happened with Pantera.
Yeah.
A lot of those kids, they like that's a gateway to like metal for a lot of people.
Oh yeah,
it's like Metallica, Pantera, Slayer, Sepultura. It's somewhere along those lines, and a lot of people didn't have, like, thought they would never get to see it. And I was fortunate to be able to see Pantera only once on the last tour that they did on the Reinventing the Steel tour. So I did it once, which was awesome. My cousin, a lot of other friends got to see him multiple times. Like, they always talk about this one gig in St. Louis on the Far Beyond Driven tour, and they like came out, and the first song they played was "Use My Third Arm," and I'm just, and the place just like,
But it's also great to see a band like Metallica take them out, though, man. Because as much as Metallica gets a lot of shots taken at them, man, they are still a band, man. That if they take you out, you're going to be seen by lots of people. Not that
absolutely.
I mean, not that Pantera can't do well, you know, on their own when they've gone out and headline, but it's great to see somebody like Metallica take them out and get them in front of 50, 60,000 people, you know?
Absolutely, man.
It's awesome. Yeah.
And they're sounding great. Like, even I went to 2 of those shows as well. Missed Pantera at one of them, unfortunately, because of the clusterfuck of the traffic at the what the hell? It's right outside of New York City, in Jersey, the Meadowlands or whatever.
Yeah.
That was like the first show of the tour, and getting it out of that place is disaster.
Horrible.
But yeah, Metallica's sounding great. That's still to this day like one of my favorite bands.
Me too.
I don't care what anybody says about Lars. Lars is like one of the most influential drummers.
No doubt. I say it all the time too. I agree. Yeah. He's just
Master of Puppets is by far one of my favorite records of all time. Any genre. Like Master of Puppets will always be in that top 10. It'll never get taken out for any reason.
I think those guys get maligned, man, just because it's easy to take shots at anybody that gets that big. You know what I mean? Like, it's like it's like the bigger you get, the bigger target you become. You know?
And they made some questionable decisions through, you know, the 90s and early 2000s. And I mean,
there's a few
but it's like, even with all of that, like still to this day, like, like you were just saying, they're taking out, you know, Pantera and Suicidal Tendencies. That was actually my first concert was Metallica when I was 10.
Yeah.
I got to see him, and it was in 1994 on the like last, I think, leg of the Black Album tour.
Yeah.
And it was with Danzig and Suicidal Tendencies.
Yep.
So yeah, man, just like I watched I always say the live shit box set to the live shit.
Binge and Purge. Yeah.
Live in Seattle VHS, dude. I watched that every day of my life. My first kit that I bought was a Tama because of Lars.
Yeah. Now let me ask you, because you are a drummer and because you have been at this a long time, I've posed this question to other drummers. You know, I work in healthcare by day as a nurse, so maybe it's the nurse in me that has to ask. But how has your own physical health held up over the years? Because I've had a lot of drummers on here who, you know, get little aches and pains, shoulder things, back things. They've had to change the height of their stool or the layout of their drums or whatever. Have you experienced any of that type of stuff? And because there's obviously a lot of physicality to what you do, you know?
Yeah, it's the constant struggle of being a drummer, but you know, it's a blessing in disguise because it keeps you in shape. And it's a good workout for sure. It's just go and play, you know, go rehearse a Misery Index set in the middle of the afternoon, and that's my workout, you know? But yeah, definitely feel it, like, especially if we don't tour for a while and like get back out on the road, and you know, if you're like sleeping on a bus and not the most comfortable, you know, conditions every single night, like your body just like, you know, I'm in my 40s now, so it's like, you know, I'm feeling it, but not as bad, like, you know, knock on some wood here. But as far as like the wrist and the elbows and the, you know, fingers, everything, like not too many like alarming pains that I've heard other drummers discuss recently, where they're like, oh yeah, like, dude, I like can't even sleep at night. There's so much pain in like my elbow or shoulder from playing drums. I'm just like, but it's bound to happen. I mean, especially if you're, you know, any sort of metal drumming is extremely intense, and it's like basically you treat your body like you're an athlete. And you know, I always talk about like the stretching, how important stretching is, and you know, stuff like that. Because if you just go in cold, and you know, you can tear a muscle, if you get tennis elbow, it's like aside from the blisters, which I still get, that's the most painful thing is like especially if you're on tour and you play like a really sweaty club and the sticks just like grip to your hands and just rip them apart. And then you play like 3 more weeks. That's
with those same hands.
So every night you're like bursting open something or splitting open another cut, you know, it starts to heal, and then you just bust it right back open, and that's always fun.
Now, what is your relationship? Now, because like I said, you've been at this a long time, man, what is your relationship and your views on on touring, because obviously there's a glamorous side to getting to go all over and see parts of the world. But, you know, talking to so many musicians on here, it does get tedious. You know, you obviously do miss your creature comforts. You know what I mean? If you're out there past a certain point of time, it probably starts to get a little monotonous. What's your relationship like with touring and your views on touring? Obviously, it's a big part of what you guys do.
Yeah. And honestly, haven't really done an insane amount of touring within, you know, it seems like years now, honestly. Like we'll do like a few runs here and there. Like Misery Index is a band that will actually like go out and do a proper tour out of any band that I'm in.
Right.
And even we've slowed down quite a bit because of just like, you know, family life and just getting older. And it's we did the majority of the touring back, you know, like I was saying, whenever I first joined through like the early 2000s, we were out on the road like nonstop, almost maybe too much, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I honestly, I love the traveling and just, especially when you go to new places, new countries, and just get to experience like the different culture, different food, and, you know, the camaraderie with like different bands that you go on tour with. By the end, it's, you know, that, you know, the metal brotherhood, and like, you know, love all that, man. Absolutely love it. Met so many amazing, awesome people that I'm like genuinely call friends over the years. Like whether it be like a younger band that we bring out that, you know, kind of like you're talking about, like with you know, not on the level of Metallica by any means, bringing out like Pantera, but it's like whenever you're bringing out some band that you're not really too familiar with, but you hear them, you're like, oh, they're sick. And then by the end of the tour, it's like you're bros. You're like, you're hanging out for a month, and, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, just recently, like this year, I've only done one tour, but it's with NAILBOMB, and that's a new thing.
Oh man,
playing at NAILBOMB with Max, and that's been fucking real. Like it's been literally like, holy shit, like jamming with Max, you know, it's a childhood hero as well, you know.
Yeah, I love the Cavaliers, man. The Cavaliers, I got to have Richie on. He's one of the sons. I got to have
Richie
him on.
Rules. Yeah.
And I literally said, man, you know, they're like the Partridge Family of metal, man. I love the way they keep it all the family, and they all travel together, and the kids are out there, and Gloria's out there, and Max is out there.
That's great.
Yeah. And that's the one time I got to see. That's the one time I got to see Soulfly, and they did that NAILBOMB album in its entirety, and it was great. Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Amazing, man.
Yeah.
And I've been reaching out to Gloria. You know, Max is busy, but I'm trying hard to get him on the podcast because he's a big hero of mine too. I mean, I'd love him. I literally, no offense to the Sepultura guys currently, but I tuned out after Max and Igor left. I really did. I thought they were the heart and soul of that band. I just love the stuff that he's on. You know what I mean? And he's one of those guys that just stays metal through and through. Any other project he picks up, dude, you know, Kill or Be Killed or Soulfly, anything he does, killer, always.
Go ahead and die.
Yeah. Anything that's him and the sons are involved in. Yeah, they're all awesome. The whole family's just awesome.
Yeah, dude. And like, it's a legit, like you know, he's always talking about like the tribe and everything.
Yeah.
But when you go on tour with them, it's literally like, and I've experienced nothing but just like, it's extremely positive.
Yeah.
Just like everybody's out for each other. Like you're just like this tight knit group, and it's been unreal, man. It's literally been unreal jamming with him. And it's so much fun too, because he's a diehard metalhead.
He really is,
and just oozing positivity and just loves metal, dude. It's like
he does.
There's no bullshit or no like. It's just like. And just wants to jam, wants to rage, like, and have a blast out there. And he's doing it with his like you said, like his family's right there with him. Little Igor's like crushing it, doing the Alex Newport parts. And jamming with him is it's so much fun, man.
Yeah,
so,
it's like you can't.
We just did the Australia dates, and hopefully we do more. But we did the Euro run last summer, and then dude, every night playing that shit, and it's just like. You look up and you just see Max just like,
I know,
dude. Like, love it.
It's like you look at his discography, man, and like unlike a lot of other bands, like we talked about a couple of missteps in Metallica's discography. You know, there's no hiccups anywhere with Max. Everything's balls to the wall, fucking metal.
absolutely. And
You know what I mean? He lives it and breathes it.
I've had my nerd out moment with him, and I try to keep it brief and not like that guy, you know. But like Beneath the Remains for me is like probably one of my favorite records of all time.
Yeah, all time.
Every riff, every second, every song, everything about that record is just, it's magical. And it brings you back to, you know, music will bring you back to like certain memories and like like you still remember the first time you heard it kind of thing. And like,
it's like a time machine.
Yeah. And I used to like, you know, I'd cut the lawn. You know, one of my first jobs was working at Pizza Hut to deliver pizzas. And the car that I had back then, it was this old school Buick LeSabre that didn't even have a radio in it. And I used to bring this boom box with just throw in the batteries, the double D batteries in the back box. And I would just, the only tape that I've ever brought was Beneath the Remains, and I would just like jam Beneath the Remains and deliver pizzas in this giant Sabre that was like the size of a house. You know?
It's got a special spot for me too, man. Just that album cover, man. Like that black album cover with the orange skull and the artwork and everything was just like, it was all just. And then and then there was an exoticness to like Sepultura. What does this mean? You know what I mean? Like, what's this? You know what I mean? Like, it was very, very mystifying if you were a teenage kid. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
absolutely.
These guys are from Brazil. You know what I mean? Like, this is intense. You know, there's a lot of there's an air of mystery about them back then.
Exactly. And then like I forget who said it, but it was damn, who was it? It might even been somebody in Metallica, but they were just like, all of a sudden this band Sepultura comes out of nowhere and they're like, who the fuck is this? Like where are these guys from Brazil? Like, holy like, you know. I mean, man, it even Roots, like that record, I haven't listened to it in a while, and I went back to it like a couple months ago, and there's so many songs on there that I forgot about, like that song "Attitude."
It's incredible. Yeah, absolutely incredible.
Dusted.
And I know
that, what is it? They put out that it was like a B-side kind of release around Roots. It was called like Blooded Roots or something. And it had the Symptoms of the Universe Sabbath cover, and then of course Orgasmatron, and it was like a lot of demos from Roots. There's a version of Dusted on there that's like raw and just heavy as fuck, dude. Like
and I know for a fact there's a lot of people, man, that really wish that they got more from NAILBOMB too. You know what I mean? Like, I see so many people that were just like, oh, it would have been so great if we got more albums from the from that NAILBOMB project was just like a one-off, man, but it was so good.
It is, man.
And that Point Blank album is incredible, man.
And jamming it is so much fun, dude.
I bet.
Like,
look
forward to it, and it's like certain samples start, you know, it's like, oh shit, like cockroaches or something.
It's about to go down in here. And how does Max tap you for that particular spot?
That was
because obviously he does know a few good drummers, his son, his brother, the two Igors or whatever, man. But like, so how do you end up in that coveted spot behind the kit for that tour?
It's one of those things where, Travis from Pig Destroyer, the bass player from Pig Destroyer, plays lead guitar with the Cavaleras.
And
he's been jamming with them for years now and knows Max. And let's see. The timeline would maybe be something like, I know Misery Index jumped on a random Soulfly show in Baltimore. Misery Index was on tour at the time with Morbid Angel, and one of the shows got canceled in New Jersey, I think. And we found out and like hit up our agent, and it was just like one of those things where it's like it all came together literally within like 20 minutes somehow. We got thrown on this Soulfly gig in Baltimore, and we're like, holy shit, this is gonna be awesome. And like literally we get there, get all the equipment loaded in, and we're like in our green room, and all of a sudden Max just comes walking in, and he's like, yo, like, fucking stoked that you guys are on the gig. Like, I love Misery Index. Like, as soon as they said that, like, you guys, had the rant, like, just found out the show got canceled, whatever, day off, throw him on the bill. And he was like, hell yeah, throw him on the bill. So we were actually all in a Sepultura tribute band called Clenched Fist that was like many different members, many different lineups, but it like basically consists of my cousin John, Mark as well was a part of it for a little bit. And then there was like Sparky, who used to be in Misery Index, the guitar player. He jammed in the Baltimore version. And then Rich Johnson from Agoraphobic Nosebleed would play guitar and do vocals. And we just would have a blast playing this stuff. And anyways, like Max was like, you know, do you guys want to jam a song tonight? And we were immediately just like, fuck yeah, like come on. He's like, well, what would you want to do? And I immediately was just like Slave New World, which is on you know, Chaos AD. Third track on Chaos AD. It's like, so he's like, let's do it, man. So we didn't even rehearse or anything. We went up there. There's footage of this on YouTube as well of it's Mark, my cousin John, and myself. And I think no, it was just the three of us that got up there and played Slave New World and like absolutely just like crushed it.
Yeah, that's killer.
Got to hang out with Max afterwards and, you know, just shooting the shit. And then we met him later. Like, I think that same tour we did New England Metal and Hardcore Fest and got to hang out with him again. And that's when I had a few beers in me and like nerded out about Beneath the Remains with him. And I told him that story about delivering pizzas with the boombox. Beneath the Remains. He's like, that's fucking awesome. Like they tell me, you know. Cool shit. But so then I guess fast forward, it was, you know, Travis joined the Cavalieras, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it got brought up somehow, but I randomly just got, it basically went like, I just literally sitting on the couch one night and got a text from Gloria and was like, hey, sitting here with Max and, you know, we're talking about, you know, bringing back the NAILBOMB and thought you'd be the perfect drummer for it. And I was just like, there's one of those sections where you're just like,
am I reading this right?
Like, it was just one of those things where it was like, fuck yes, you know, all caps. Like,
can't type it fast enough.
Maybe that's not exactly what I said, but that was what was going on in my mind. It was just like, fuck,
it's a big honor. It's a big honor because, as I said, Max does know some kick-ass drummers, and he could tap just about anybody in the metal world. You know,
of course,
you know,
and so, just truly thankful, and it's an honor to jam with him. Like, any band, but especially like just NAILBOMB was one of those bands where I bought the CD. I was still in high school because. You know, I think that was, it came out basically the same year that Chaos AD came out. And there's a whole story behind that I've heard, that just like the creation and like the timing of everything. That's why I think maybe they didn't do anything else after that, was just because like after Chaos AD came out for Sepultura, like it was game on, dude. Like they were so busy touring, and it was just like they were on another level at that point.
When it sounds that way.
You know,
it also sounds like Alex Newport was only viewing it as like a one-off too, because I literally just watched that footage on YouTube the other day of that festival that they did. Max had the purple hair and
Dynamo,
and they did Police Truck and
we played that.
You know, DH from the Dead Kennedys was on drums you know, after that song or whatever.
Epic show, dude.
A great show. And so before I let you out of here, I do want to know, man, like which of these bands you're currently promoting and which you're still involved in, man, so fans know where to look for you.
Well,
SCOUR, obviously, Misery Index, obviously.
And Pig Destroyer has been more active than ever. We're doing a lot of the Prowler in the Yard is 25th anniversary of Prowler in the Yard this year. We're doing Vakken later this summer, and doing a fest in LA next month, and then a fest in Chicago in April. And so Misery Index, Pig Destroyer, SCOUR. That's basically, and NAILBOMB, of course, that I'm like actively playing shows with, and
but then the other stuff. But then I thought I saw you put something out in 2025 with a band called Bludgeoned by Deformity.
I was going to get to that. Yes.
Okay.
Bludgeoned by Deformity. We've played like maybe 5 shows at this point, but that's with Devin from Sanguisuga Bog and couple Baltimore cats, and it's one of those bands that just came together randomly. I met Devin, you know, went to go see the Bog at club in Baltimore, and we hit it off. And then he sent me some random material that was like, yo, check this out. It's what I'm working on with one of my buddies, Braden. And I was like, holy shit, who's playing drums? And did the, like, you know,
Yeah.
curious emoji, like, what's going on with that? And he was like, well, I don't know. I was like, well, I think I know a drummer. And it just like kind of led to that. And we have the one EP out at this point. And so that's a very part-time, like, if we have time to do it, like, we can, you know, maybe play a show here and there. Hope to do more with it, maybe. But that's the other thing. And I'd always wanted to say, like, it looks like I'm in a shit ton of bands, because obviously you can just go to my Instagram and be this whole list of all these things.
Right.
But most of them are not even active. It's like mostly like a studio project. And you know, even Lockup, you know, I joined Lockup, and during the pandemic, Barker left.
I just had Barker on last week too.
Oh, really?
Love him, man. Yeah, he's going.
I need to catch up with him, man.
Going through a lot with his health. He's got a lot on his plate with his health, man. But every time I have him on, man, there's an outpouring of love. The fans love to hear from him, man. And you know, he's got a GoFundMe to help out with his health issues. And you know, thoughts.
He's a legend. He's an absolute legend. I mean, so whenever that came about to, like, you know, replace him, I was like, I didn't even know what to even say. It's like, it's Nick Barker. It's like,
I mean, he's got some stuff. He's got some stuff in the works. He's hoping this year is the year that he'll have his kidney transplant. He needs a kidney transplant, and he's also working on his memoir. So he's hoping to have that by the end of the year.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
So I could go on about Lockup for probably an hour as well.
He's amazing.
So that's a band. Of course, you know, Tampa passed away recently. We got to play one gig at Roskilde Fest in Denmark, and that was unreal. And I knew it was like a magical, like surreal moment of my life to get in a room and jam with those guys. But I didn't realize that was going to be the only time.
Right.
So that's unfortunate, and hope that we can maybe, you know, maybe put something else out again, but there hasn't really been too much discussion on it. You know, it's because, of course, Shane and even like Anton and all those dudes, I've known Tampa Misery Index tour with Disfear back in like 2005, 2006. And so I've known him for like a really long time, and it's a pretty big hit, you know, really sad, you know, what happened there. But yeah, I guess back to the side projects. That's mostly the bands I'm active with, is like just Misery Index, Pig Destroyer, SCOUR, Bludgeoned by Deformity, NAILBOMB.
Okay.
Hoping to get Fulgora. Fulgora actually has a full length basically ready right now. Just need to record it and put that shit out. So
okay. Now, I probably asked Mark this or whatever, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask your opinion on it, because I do so many of these, I don't remember what Mark said. There's that, but there's also, just want to get your take on it. When is there a timeline on when you expect we'll see something new from Misery Index? Will we see new music soon? The last full length, I believe, was 2022, but then you guys did the EP in 2023.
That's correct. Yeah. So we also have basically a whole record written at this point.
I think that's what he did say too.
Yeah, we met up in the beginning of the year. Got together because Jason lives in Finland, Mark lives in Missouri, Darren and I are here in Maryland, and so it's rare when we're all in the same room. And you know, we're always sending ideas back and forth, and basically funnels through me. I put some drums on it, we send it back and forth just to check it out. And you know, so it was time to we were like, we all seem to get in the same room and just, you know, focus on these songs that we have and write some new shit. And it was great, man. We had a lot of progress was made, and we're pretty content with, I think we have like about 11, 12 songs.
Yeah.
So the goal is to record midsummer. And at this point, unfortunately, it won't be out this year, but we're pushing for definitely a 2027 release. New album.
That's good news. And so if people want to keep tabs on you, these various bands that you're involved in, I know people are on social media everywhere. You got to spread yourself around nowadays, man. Where's the best place to tap in with what you got going on in all these various bands? Obviously, private Instagram.
Yeah, basically probably just Instagram or Facebook.
Okay,
that's the best. So
okay. And so, what do you got going on for in the very near future here? Are there more NAILBOMB shows? Or is that wrapped up?
There's talks that there could be some more shows this year, but it's still,
Yeah.
it won't be until the fall if anything does happen. But
right, because Soulfly, I think Soulfly just to go out is just about to go out on a tour with GWAR, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they put out that record late last year, Chama.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be touring quite a bit this year. And I know the Cavalieras are doing a long run over the summer, doing the Chaos AD.
Yeah.
Which that is awesome. I haven't see it yet, but it fucking rules.
Yeah.
But the next show is actually in a couple weeks down in Florida with Pig Destroyer at the Florida Swamp Fest.
Nice.
It is a BMX event. Do yourself a favor and just Florida Swamp Fest and watch the first video that pops up on YouTube and blow your goddamn mind. It's they build all this crazy shit, all these like BMX jumps and like all kinds of just random. I think they have a different theme every year, and I think this year is like a circus, and they build all this like crazy shit out of wood, and then they light it on fire at the very end.
Why wouldn't they?
Of course.
Yeah.
Come on.
Logical.
This is the first year where like Corinne, the dude that owns Night Shift merch, actually is like in charge of the band side of things. It's mostly just like a BMX event. People come all over. I think there's supposed to be like 3,000 to 5,000 people there this year. So they asked us to do it. It's like one of those things where it's going to be insane. Like they're literally like, it's like, wild, wild west, like get ready for like absolute mayhem. And so it should be pretty awesome. And then, right after that, I guess we're doing, that CY Fest in LA, which has got an insane amount of bands. I can't even begin to think of who all is on there, but I know I Hate God is playing. If you look at the list of bands, Infest, a lot of power violence and punk, and so that's going to be a really killer fest out in LA. And then Forever Death Fest in Chicago, and then we do all the summer shit over in Europe coming up. So
you gotta have a lot of irons in the fire these days. You got to be busy. You got to be busy.
Absolutely. And this year it's going to be playing with like at least 4 different bands. And, 1 month is going to be SCOUR, and then it's like back to Pig Destroyer, and then
right
next time, and then come back home from that, and then enough to keep me busy enough to where it's not going to get like get burnt out and tired and just sick of it. That's what I like about it too, because you jamming with a totally different cast of characters in each band.
Variety. I was glad to see SCOUR do a full length too, man, because up to that Gold album you guys had just been doing EPs.
No, we knew it was time, and it was talked about early on that it was like it's time to do a full length.
I think the fans were I think the fans wanted more.
Absolutely.
I mean, how could they not? I mean,
go check it out if you haven't.
Yeah, absolutely. Go check it out. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. It's fucking. It's basically like a. It's basically like I consider it like a extreme metal fucking super group.
Say that.
I hate to use that word because it sounds so pretentious sometimes.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like it makes it sound like, but I mean, come on, man. You and Mark and fucking Anselmo. I mean, it's crazy. Derek, insane. Great. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're busy, man, and I guess that's a good thing to be if you're a musician in today's landscape, the musical world. I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, a lot of people don't even have the luxury of. It is a weird time, though, man. I mean, are you a big streaming fan, or are you a vinyl guy?
Definitely both, but mostly like if I'm at home, I like to listen to as much vinyl.
Yeah.
Like I still stream stuff during the day because I work from home and stuff. But streaming, I know it's a double-edged sword there, but I always say it's a good platform for discovering a certain playlist, you find out about so many different bands that you would never even, like be. You know, I always listen to this one playlist called Vintage Obscura, and it's like music from, you know, anywhere from like the 30s, 40s,
right?
Like, and all like global like
God
artists that I
what.
would never you'd like try to like are you gonna search for Ethiopian jazz, for instance? And it'll come on and you'll be like, this is amazing. Like I would have never found out about this before.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Thank God for streaming, and thank God for playlists, and thank God for Ethiopian jazz.
There you go, dude.
Yeah. But I appreciate you doing this, man. I'm glad I got a chance to run you down, man. And for sure, stay in touch, man, because you're a lot of fun to talk to, man. This was a great interview, man. And anytime you got anything going on, man, you're always welcome, man. Got a platform here, man. This was fun. Seriously, we'll do this again for sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Thanks for reaching out. This is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll text you and send you my contact information. Definitely. Just stay in touch. Just stay in touch for the fuck of it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Really, it was a pleasure, man. I'll send you the link when I put the episode up too.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah.
Right. Thanks, Adam. Great talking to you, my friend. Thank you.
Likewise, dude. Cheers.
There he goes, folks. Adam Jarvis, the man behind the drum kit for OGs, legends in the extreme metal world, in my opinion, Misery Index, and lots of other great bands. As we talked about, part of that great lineup in SCOUR, playing behind the legendary Phil Anselmo. He mentioned Fulgora, Pig Destroyer, been a part of Lockup, newer project, Bludgeoned by Deformity. So, as I said, a lot of irons in the fire, man. Hardworking guy, man. Hell of a fucking drummer. Oh, and let's not forget that he's been out there with the Cavaliers doing the NAILBOMB thing too, man. A coveted spot, man. You know, always great to get tapped by the great Max Cavalera to play with him on anything. So really love that conversation, man. Really appreciate Adam Jarvis coming on here and chopping it up with me. I've been looking forward to that one. Did not disappoint. Great conversation. Probably could have spent another 2 fucking hours on there chopping it up with him. That's what makes a podcaster's job easy, man. When you can just fucking start shooting the fucking shit. Two guys talking fucking metal. That's what this show is predicated on. The art of conversation and just getting down and to the nitty gritty and talking rock and metal. So I appreciate Adam Jarvis for doing it, man. Great conversation. I'll give you guys the 411 one more time on how to get tapped in with us. Make sure to hit us up on Facebook, Off the Couch Boxing and PodScum. That's the handle. Instagram, same handle, Off the Couch Boxing and PodScum. And if you want to watch and listen to the entire episodes here on our YouTube channel exclusively is where you need to be. Like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell to stay tapped in with us. New content coming your way every single week. Again, thanks to the viewers, thanks to the subscribers. Goes without saying, thanks to the guests. Specifically today, my guy, Adam Jarvis, drummer for Misery Index. And as I mentioned, lots of other great fucking bands. Do yourself a favor, school yourself on Misery Index and all those other fucking great bands, man. So I really appreciate the support, really appreciate the love for the channel, man. And listen, keep tuning in. As I say, new stuff coming your way every single week. Got lots of surprises in store for you as we've kicked off 2026, man. Upward and onward always here on PodScum. So until we get together and we do this thing again, this is your boy Reckless Rex reminding you all to take it easy and keep it sleazy.